Well, how does a person, how do you as an investment group then put the people together? I mean, here, most inventors come in, and I know from my own personal experience, many inventors don't really have much of a business background. They know they can really come up with a good idea. They know it's a good idea, but they don't have the slightest idea, or maybe only a minimal idea of where to go to start the ball rolling. When they come to you, how do you start that ball rolling? What's the first thing you do? You said put together a business plan, and what happens after that?
Well, it's an interactive thing where we have a combination of trying to obtain information from the inventor, but also educating the inventor on some of the basics of business. And so the first thing we try to do is get a description of the invention or the product or what it happens to be. And when I say description, I don't necessarily mean a technical description as you might put together in putting a patent forward. But here we're talking more of a description of something that would be almost in layman's terms for the purpose of trying to decide whether the invention might have some widespread appeal to people.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that most inventors are warm up to the fact that they have to work with a lot of different people, or do you find various different reactions from the inventors?
Personalities are everywhere, and I really think it comes down when you're matching an inventor or a small business with investors. I think the personality match is important there as it is anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Is there ever a concern with these small inventors about relinquishing control, and how do you go about calming those fears?
Some of the inventors are extremely reluctant to relinquish control over their companies, and I think sometimes it's a matter of actually seeing the financing start to appear. When the financing starts to appear, that fear diminishes. On the other hand, not all inventors are that way. There are some who are more interested in seeing the product succeed or the invention succeed. And so they are willing at an earlier stage to allow some of the business people to come in and manage the company for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned briefly earlier there are certain things you have to educate the inventor for. Now, our target audience of this show is often looks at inventors who perhaps are just that, they're just inventors. What are some of the business things? Or some of the key indicators or key things that they should be looking for in setting up a business?
Well, depending on whether you're talking about a product or a service, of course, location can be a significant factor. Having a good idea and realistic idea of the cash flow requirements. Many times we'll see a business plan come in where the inventor wants to raise $10 million for the purpose of creating a product that dyes fabric from one color to another. Mm-hmm. And that seems a little unrealistic sometimes. So you want the amount of the financing that's being sought to relate somehow to what the actual business is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the biggest problems is getting a realistic match between the viability of the product or the service and the amount of money that would be required to finance that.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other indicators you look for, or anything else you try to do when you work with these people?
Well, I think if you have an inventor who has been consistent and who's been dedicated and diligent, it's important to be able to highlight that, and it's important for the inventor to be able to convey that at every stage, because mm-hmm. that's one of the most persuasive things that an inventor might have.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows their product better or service better than the inventor himself, exactly. Or the individual putting together the company. That's true. Well, very good. Now you've got to the first part of the first-year financing. As I see, you've got the inventor in your office. You're talking to him about putting together a business plan, and now it's time to start matching them up with people. And you mentioned earlier about personalities being so much. How do you go about getting this network of people that you need in order to account for these various personalities, and what kind of investors do you deal with from that side of the equation?
Our network of investors is rather large and extends all throughout the country. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you'll have a situation where someone who might be in Pittsburgh may not want to invest in a company here in Pittsburgh, and so frequently we'll find eager investors either from New York or coincidentally from Detroit. Mm-hmm. We'll take the business plan and whatever the proposal is, What we're able to do is get the investor's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And once we have the investor's attention, we can send a copy of the written material up, and then we are able to answer the initial questions that might come back from the investor. The investor's reactions are very interesting to watch. I cannot predict which investor is going to become interested in which product. It just is purely emotional. You pick up the proposal, and either right off the bat you either like it or you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, then you look through all the financial material and you decide, well, see there, this financial material is not right. That's why I don't like it. But if you do like the proposal, then you look at the financial material and you say, boy, this is well done.
Mm-hmm. So you find the investors that business plan really has an impact on them, and the description. Yeah, it's critical.
Absolutely critical.
Before the show, we were talking about how you go about putting this information out to the investment community. Why don't you tell our viewers about that?